Following Hurricane Michael, Panama City faced some budget issues. Now, they solved those issues not by cutting spending, but by raising residents' taxes and fees for fire, water, and garbage services. As News 13's Courtney Hayes tells us, the city also invested heavily in its own marketing.
Despite budget pressures in other areas, Panama City has pushed forward with an expensive marketing strategy since Hurricane Michael that has cost $1.5 million in 4 years. That spending was with an outside marketing firm called K Global and represents 2 rounds of recovery planning following the storm and the coronavirus pandemic. They then spent an astonishing $607,000 on Rehouse Bay, a program that is supposed to help locals find affordable homes.
I think one of the things I learned as a senior leader in the Army is the most important thing you can do is communicate. I realized pretty early after the storm that if we didn't keep this in the national forefront, that we would become a speck in a truly the forgotten coast in terms of recovery.
McQueen's connection to the Army brought K Global into the fold. One of his former co-workers recommended K Global, and the city and their hurricane consulting firm eventually selected them. And after he retired from the Army, McQueen's co-worker went to work for K Global. McQueen says this connection did not impact the city's decision to hire them.
You can even look at Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian is a blip now, and look what it did. It was a major storm, had a lot of damage. I mean, billions of dollars of damage to the peninsula of Florida and up into Georgia and the Carolinas. And nobody's even talking about that. But yet, we're still talking about Hurricane Michael.
News 13 spent weeks to determine what the city received with the $1.5 million it spent. Eventually, we received this, a list of what the city calls key wins. Those key wins included a Facebook video on rebuilding the city after Hurricane Michael.
Panama City residents are resilient and strong, and they have fought through all the adversity of this storm. We know that we need help from Tallahassee and Washington.
Another video explaining the charrettes that the city called while planning the rebuild.
I'm like a backup singer for a band. It's a fancy word.
Then there is a video urging residents to take part in the census and a Rehouse Bay website and video. Other items on the key wins list included stories in national and local media. In one instance, a key win was a story that appeared on News 13's website, mypanhandle.com. However, that story was not done because of any involvement with K Global. City leaders included it, claiming K Global was an integral part of the subject of that story, a trip to Washington by local leaders to lobby for money. To those outside the marketing world, these key wins might look meager, but McQueen insists that they had a huge impact, especially when compared to other natural disasters.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. This has been an amazing level of effort to keep it on the entire spectrum of communication. And I have to tell you, they did a brilliant job, I think. I really believe when you look at what they accomplished on behalf of the city, it was putting us out there in multiple domains, multiple podcasts, traditional media, newspaper articles, magazines, all of those.
There is obviously no way to measure this kind of impact, or really to say, as McQueen did several times during our interview, that one community that suffered a natural disaster was treated better by the state and federal government than another community.
I think keeping it on the national level and the regional level has helped to garner over $400 million in grants and loans to be extended to the city for its recovery efforts. I look at other communities that have suffered from tragedy across the nation, and I don't see that same level of recovery.
We followed up on that figure and asked what projects the city was citing to arrive at that $400 million number. You can find the full list right now at mypanhandle.com.
Courtney Evans reporting. Now, we said earlier that it is difficult to measure the impact of marketing work, but we did spot one part of K Global's contract where it might seem to be possible. Coming up tonight on News 13 at 10, you'll learn about the $600,000 local leaders spent with K Global on an affordable housing program.